Giltner, Giltner, and I'm speaking of one of his descendants. His middle name is Giltner now, from Shelby County originally. The house, as I understand it, it's on the National Register. It was originally designed as a pretty, I think, straightforward Greek Revival house, and it had several owners. The original owner of this land was the first federal judge west of the mountains. His name was Harry Innes. And Harry Innes, this house, the Innes, what remains of the Innes house is about a mile right over the hill at Elkhorn Creek. I shouldn't make a plug for this, but I wrote a little book on Elkhorn Creek, and a lot of it's about this house and the connection with the community. It's called Elkhorn. UK published it. Anyway, his name was Harry Innes, and his grandson was a steamboat captain who owned the house in 1870. His name was Harry Innes Todd, and the steamboat that he ran was called the Blue Wing, and apparently there were 3 or 4 incarnations of the Blue Wing, which made runs up the Kentucky River, I think as far as Cincinnati, and up the river as far as Mundy's Landing, which is a place which I hope Jackson will, we can talk about Jackson, but a place you all ought to visit. You ought to see Mundy's Landing, a wonderful house that's there. Anybody seen Mundy's Landing? So in some ways it's like this. It's built on the river, though. This house was sold in 1880 to a tanner, a prosperous tanner from Louisville named James A. Holt. And Holt, who apparently was a bachelor, added an additional wing to make it, and he also talked to someone who offered him some advice about getting away from the Greek Revival and making it American Gothic. You see these finials on the Gothic, the finials and the gingerbread, which is a fleur-de-lis design from Louisville, were the translation in wood of the stone that would have been Gothic architecture in Europe. I want to show you, I don't know what else to tell you about the place except that, I should tell you importantly, got a second prop here. Online, my wife years ago found a description of the farm here in 1903 when Holt aged out of living here. I worry about that myself. And moved to the Mason's home in Shelby County. And when the place was put up for sale, there was a really elaborate description. He described it as one of the best bluegrass farms in Kentucky, extensively and most judiciously improved in a locality possessing every desirable requisite. The fact I was going to share from it was that Kentucky, or actually Frankfort, Kentucky was one of the first states in the Union to hire out its prison labor. And the state penitentiary was almost exactly about 4.5 miles from here. And prison labor worked on this farm, and for those of you who want to later on see upstairs, there was a room where prisoners were kept, and there were iron rings still there in the studs of the wall to which they could be chained. Were they chained? I don't think so. I think it was probably a deterrent. And there's also a checkerboard on the floor, which I think of as sort of 19th century penal recreation. There were sizable squares. but why don't we go inside and let you look around, and we can, if you have any questions, I'll be glad to try to answer them. Living at this place has been a joy. It's been a lot of work too, and when we bought it, it was just after the '74 tornado, and the roof, water had come through 2 floors, and in the room, in these sort of parlor rooms, there was some really elaborate plaster medallions, and the rain, the water had come through and destroyed, virtually just half of one medallion was here. And fortunately, about 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, I found someone in Lexington who could reproduce the plaster, and so we had those redone, and he did a beautiful, beautiful job, as I think you'll see. Why don't we just come in and we'll walk and make yourselves at home.
Thanks for coming. I was in the woods on some bike trip. I had to come out, change my clothes, drive here, and then I ran up there. I was timing it though.
Well, I mean, if you're not doing it.
And then we got this sweetheart.
Always start out on the left. That's the formal side.
I was thinking, I was like, I don't know if I'm talking about
Make yourself at home.
Y'all go ahead and go.
How are you? It's Jerry Footy, right? Yeah, she's doing pretty well. Good to see you. How are you? I'm fine.
Watch the dog.
Oh,
Sure.
Hi, how are you?
Welcome.
Nice to see you again. We met before, Jim Seaver.
Nice to see you, Jim.
Boy.
Good.
This is beautiful. I'll wait till you see the psychedelic. It's not in here, but it's pretty cool.
We have a dog that's just parking itself.
I'm co-owner of a bookstore, and so you might notice there are a lot of books here. I've read books. I've taught for, gosh, 50 years, and ended up teaching at Transy for the last 14 years. And the books that like a bookseller friend I used to have in Lexington, I said, Charlie, where did you get all these books? He said, you know, I leave here at night, and I'm pretty convinced these books are for you. But this is the finial, so half of this was here, half of it was gone. This guy made 3 or 4 separate molds and was able to replicate exactly what was there. The one in this room was completely out, and he reconstituted that one. There's one in the central hall that you can see on the 2nd floor. It goes up to the 2nd floor, and it has the original paint on it. And we call it 1860 psychedelic. It's multiple. It's ring. It's a plain medallion, but it's in 4 or 5 different colors. What to tell you?
I have a couple questions.
Shoot.
So color-wise, did you try to research and find out what it would have been, or did you just pick what you liked?
Pick what I like. This room got a lot of light in it, so we decided to go with the dark wall. And I've used a lot of shaker colors originally, like shaker. Yeah, it's I don't know, it's pretty freewheeling. But I like books and pictures and what's here, pretty much.
It's a Sawyer.
Yeah, it is a Sawyer. It's an unsigned Sawyer, and it's of the, I mentioned this book, Elkhorn, and there's a chapter in the book on that place, and it's called, it was called the Stedmantown Lane now, but there was an actual Stedmantown, and Stedmantown was the site of one of the state's earliest paper mills. It was established in about 1823, and through the Civil War, and the owner, Ebenezer Stedman, there's a wonderful book about Stedman. It's called Bluegrass Craftsman. UK published it in 1959. It was republished by some friends here in Frankfort. But he lost his, well, he had lots of problems. There were dams, there were fires, and he made the mistake of signing a contract with the Confederacy to provide paper for money, and that bankrupted him. He was, of course, never paid. Did that answer your question? Yeah. We haven't been very faithful to the color scheme.
My other question was about what is the current acreage of the property and what was it when it was originally?
Okay, when Harry Ennis had the property, it was about 1,200 acres. When it was sold in 1880, it was 742 acres. When, in about 1960, the person from whom I bought it, his name was Zach Softly, late Zach Softly, wonderful guy, who owned a lot of property, and his family still owns a lot of property this way. He bought about 300 and something acres, and another individual that bought at auction on the other side of the road, another 300 plus acres was sold. But you'll notice the farm went all the way back this way. When you came in off of Peace Mill Road, you were actually on Holt's driveway. And I mentioned the 12 miles of stone fences, which just blows my mind. And they were convict, most of them were built convict labor, and to the best of our knowledge, this house never had enslaved persons. It was built in 1859, and of course by 1865, slavery had been outlawed. With the what, 13th, 15th Amendment?
So they had to have a contract with the penal system?
Yeah, and apparently that was pretty common. Actually, before 1800, Kentucky was renting out prisoners. And the state penitentiary was right across the street from what is now called the Lieutenant Governor's Mansion, which was the Governor's Mansion at that time. And there's nothing left of the penitentiary except stones from it were used as the basis for what is called in Frankfort the old state office building. And it's a multi-storied structure built on the site of the old penitentiary.
In your pre-Civil War things, do you have any of the salesman's catalogs for architectural elements?
I wish I did. No.
They cannot find those anywhere. You can find them in the late 1800s,
Yeah.
but before the
Yeah.
Civil War.
I've got some early architectural books that show, from the 19th century, sort of like not pattern books, but Gothic, early, I don't even know where they are, but I've got a couple of friends who are even more avid preservationists than I am, and,
They might have something.
we're into that, yeah.
Did you already talk about the furniture and if any of it came with the house?
None of it came with the house. My father collected furniture, and when he died, my brother and sister and I landed a trove of it, and then I sort of picked up some of his collecting habits. Yeah. Thank you. Glad you like it. Yeah. Well, let's just, I don't know, we can kind of walk around and we'll go on the other side and there's a string of rooms, and then those of you want to, we'll go look at the rings. There's actually another building in the back. This is my daughter, incidentally, Julia, who provides from hummus and lemonade for those who would like it. So,
It's a tea.
so yeah.
So we're in the home of a bibliophile. Where's your preferred place to read within the home?
Can you point that out where?
It's a good question. I spend most of my time in that other room, but reading on this porch, it's got great light. I sort of set up out there during the summertime. Yeah. They're worse habits to have, but, though I can't think of any. Come on, we'll walk around. Thank you so much. Sure.
Hello, how are you? Remember me, Jim? Nice to see you again.
Yeah, it's past the year.
Marty, how are you?
Good. We're showing the flag for our offices.
Well, I was gonna say, we really had no excuse because they.
The people, I painted those.
I was gonna say, did you do those?
About over 50 years ago, before I moved here, and they are all from, it's a wonderful book by James Agee, one of the great American classics called Let Us Now Praise Famous Men. And it was about sharecroppers he was commissioned by Fortune magazine to go to northern Alabama in 1937, and he and Walker Evans, the great photographer, Walker Evans, documentary photographer, hey Marty, did a book. It was supposed to be an article, and they were paid for being there a couple of weeks. Instead, they stayed several months, and he wrote a 300 or 400 page book, which is one of the great documents of the American Depression. But they are just from Walker Evans's photographs. Oh, great. Great, I'll let you know. Okay, good, thank you, Bob. Great, great. Shall we, if anybody else have any questions, or not, we'll just keep walking. There's the light's done on up there, but that's the psychedelic medallion. There would have been a chandelier. There would have been a, candlelit chandelier. I don't know.
It sure looks like it.
Yeah, this one's higher because, there's your floor up there. I'd say they're 12 feet probably. That'd be my guess.
You have children. Did you already tell us that?
Yeah, the kids loved it. Well, they said it was very cold. It's hard to heat it
It
off.
doesn't feel cold.
And I don't heat it off. Let's go through these rooms.
What did you teach at Frankfort?
I taught creative writing and English. Let me put in a plug for while we're making plugs here. There's a great show that's at Shakertown right now by an artist, a Lexington artist named Charlie Jolly. He's a retired architect, and there are 44 paintings there. They're in the Center Family House, and the show comes down October the 12th. But I'd really recommend you appreciate art, and it's sort of a little bit of Andrew Wyeth, a little bit of James Foose, another Lexington artist. Come on in. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, she's there. They love you. They thrive on it. Right. let's, I guess, keep going. No,
Is this the psychedelic one?
Yeah.
we can go and say,
But the wood is
Hey, good to see you.
You're getting the good stuff.
Interesting place.
they need to do new grass. Well, I don't know. Must be lived in. Oh, hi. Good to see you. How are you? How are you, dear? And look, I told you might be coming. Welcome. Glad to see you. It's been a while. Too long. Happy to do it. I don't know what to say about anything in here, but if anyone has any questions, we can talk to. I should mention this. This guy I worked with he was with the Kentucky Arts Council, and he was a potter, and he called these people bottles, and he was active in the 70s. It was from New Jersey. His name was Dean Lichtman, and Dean moved back to New Jersey, but I worked out, I forget how, some sort of arrangement with him, and he did a show at the Speed while he was in Kentucky, and he was really first rate. He had to build his own wheel in order to turn these pots. I don't know, any,
What about these figures?
pardon?
What about these figures? What's their
Oh,
story?
I've got terrible collecting habits. You know, each one, some of them are like the stories behind. This was in the mantle of our house when I grew up in Louisville. Reminds me of home.
Are they relatives? Do you know who they are?
You know, I don't. I wish I did, and I wish if anybody knows, I'd like to know who painted it too. I don't think it's not a Jewish. I know that, but pretty good, whoever it was.
So we don't have to get rid of all of our stuff after we're 50?
No, I sure haven't. I'm leaving it for my daughter and son to work on. We call it the big yard sale.
I've been trying to get rid of stuff.
Come on, keep coming.
Isn't that how the Fraser got started? Isn't that how the Fraser got started?
My mother doesn't like it when I say I'm going to drop a double wide dumpster in her driveway.
Excuse me.
Frida says, what is going on?
Shadow.
Yes, she is.
It's an opportunity for her to keep styling up to do.
She likes this. Her tail's wagging.
She's getting a little
Yeah.
We don't always get dogs, so this is a treat for all of us, especially me.
Wow.
What is this pump's name?
This is Frida. It's named after Frida Kahlo.
It goes straight on through up to the
Spirit, oh, whether I've detected any, good vibes, never anything malevolent. Yeah.
Yeah.
You found great furniture.
Well, I was lucky. I've collected some of it, but a lot of this, Father had a good eye. This is our mother's dining room table.
Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous.
If you like Sawyer, there's an unusual Sawyer. That lower that's a Sawyer etching, and I'm pretty convinced it's something he probably did when he was in art school at the University of Cincinnati Art School. This piece I like a lot. It's really plain. It was built for my great-great-grandfather. And I've never been able to find him listed. His name was Charles Barrick. And he was from Henry County. It's real plain. those of you who want to, we'll go upstairs and we'll see where the prisoners were chained, and I promise, none of the chains are in use. Oh, and there's, help yourselves. I don't see what, there's lemonade, why don't we just, yeah, you all, please help yourselves. Thank my daughter, she put this together.
Nero's not in
Oh, and we do need, actually, we do need to see, some of you may not want to, right behind us, I want to show you my favorite room. It's not in the house, it's in what we call the summer kitchen.
Oh. Yeah, I know people have been out there too, but it's a whole nother deal.
Be right back. Take
Those
the
little
tea.
pita things are so good.
I did want to see what's out there.
Oh, he doesn't want people out there.
Okay, well, they've already been out there, but I don't know.
Oh, he didn't want us to go out?
I mean, it's fine,
Oh,
but
This goes on and on.
There's even a
Yeah, it's a lot bigger on the inside than the
Station for
outside.
the midway point.
So that's where my.
Okay, sorry, yeah. Oh, that's wonderful, that's wonderful. Okay, I'm so
we're
glad
going
you
out
were able
there
to
first.
answer the question, that's good. Thank you. Think about all that. Gingerbread. I'm gonna opt not to go down the steps. Go around again. I'm happy to be here.
Great house. Great house, yeah.
Thank you, Marty. It's Richard reached out to us.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
This is the third time I've been here in just a couple of months. All of the things that he does out here intersect with my interests, and so I've been out for all kinds of things.
It's a great piece of land.
He's a good steward.
He is.
And it's, you see, it kind of plays with your eyes, it's golden. there's an electrical, when we put electrical in here,
Jackson.
Hey, hey.
It's black one. Mostly.
I don't remember exactly on the Wallace Kelly. Most of the, a lot of this I do remember. Yeah, you like Wallace Kelly? Well, this I think, or is it Malcolm Arnett? Malcolm Arnett was a contemporary of his.
I can imagine.
But the one, that might be a Kelly, right above that bookcase.
Okay. Maybe you got them at Capitol Gallery, because Ellen Glasgow.
I know, you know, I did get, actually that one did come from Capitol Gallery. Ellen's a friend.
Yeah.
Good lady.
Yes, she sure is. She sure is, yeah. I knew him.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I admire his work, great.
I do too, very much, very much.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
It's what?
That's also, yeah, also,
Oh,
you know, I'm like you, I think I keep moving a lot, and, I mean, keeps you alive, actually.
Hopefully.
But, this is a great place to hang out.
That's wonderful.
Well, let's, be careful on these steps. Don't let the wall move.
That's your passport.
In Frankfort, you might have a shot.
Do you know about Patrick's letting me use it?
I've seen, oh, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen
He
it,
was out here earlier today.
I've seen it like everybody on YouTube.
Yeah.
What? I've seen it on YouTube, like we see everything.
Yeah. Pretty neat.
Yeah. Old school devices. They work smart.
Any of you know plants real well? This is it's bamboo, but I'm told, actually Wendell Berry told me that there's no difference between the bamboo and the cane. I still don't entirely believe it.
Yeah.
No. Should we go back inside?
Yeah.
Pardon the ruins here. You know, our friend Patrick, who's done a lot of work on this place over the years, he said, you know, Richard, every old house ought to have just the faintest whiff of decadence. And we've got it in spades.
Is the house all frame, all wood? Or
Yeah, all frame. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's
lasted this long.
Yeah, it's
Good
done
stewards.
pretty well. We say it's gonna be at its best in about 30 or 40 years.
And that's since the 19th century.
That's right.
What's the date of the oldest part of the house?
1859. Right before the Civil War. I think that was the year that John Brown was hanged at Harper's Ferry. Can't have everything.
A good year for something.
Well, that's right. That's right. Watch the walnuts. They'll trip you. Come on in.
Oh, thank you.
Have a band and people, you know, take a donation. Watch this. This is a French string. Yeah, we'll go in the front way again. If you all like it, we'll go upstairs.
And it's got a
Look at it with a forgiving eye, though. Yeah.
could be the dinner bell, but it's too far from the kitchen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then the bee, saw the bees.
I saw the bees when we came up, that's right. There's trees, but you can see through them.
Mm-hmm.
Get upstairs. Just try to end up in his room on the
Shooting video balls.
front room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are you live streaming?
Yes.
Oh, fun.
Oh, you're live streaming. Okay.
So it'll be on our Facebook forever. There's no black walnut.
He never does. In fact, we don't let him in when he's wet. He was rebuked the other day. When he started to come in, I closed the door on him. He was wondering, what have I done now? He got over it too quickly. Come on in.
Was the house all built at once?
No, that was the back door at one time. The rear of it was put on in 1880.
Okay.
Do you know what this is? I'm trying to figure
I
out
think
why.
it's so you can raise it.
Well, yeah, but I was trying to figure out why it would be.
I guess the more your candlesticks burn down.
How tall are your candles, man?
Listen, man.
the chair, you can lower it.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't at home.
Franklin County Trust Bank.
No, we.
I'll try to get some lights
On the door out there, it said Franklin County Trust.
Oh,
That's interesting.
they're friends of ours.
Okay. But Bluegrass Trust, I guess, could extend over here, couldn't it?
We are out here. We do the whole bluegrass region.
Okay.
But it's good to have partners in every county.
This is a couple of these are Auburn's. This is the second. They're not original. It's the second printing. And then a few years after the
what he intends and what he doesn't.
Yeah.
That's a good sound.
It is a good sound. He's come, actually, they don't like a bang. They bang.
They have an old boiler.
But they are warm.
Yeah, they're
Really,
really
when they heat up, they stay warm for a long time. Well, we had a fun fest here, and they're great for wet mittens, wet mittens on there. Yeah, they really, they got their name, well, they radiate.
Powers of persuasion, positive thinking.
Does anybody ever change their mind about something that big of a decision? How could you do it? How could you persuade them not?
Well, without a lot of money.
I don't know what to tell you about it.
This guy bought some property that was a parking lot, but it also has the sole surviving.
Yeah, you might, if you want to, you can get a view from the front porch.
So it's actually nice enough to come on and be like come on site and then, so.
Through here or out here?
Yeah, out there.
Okay, sure.
I say, Jackson, I think the guests are coming now. Do you hear their carriages?
Here then.
Ooh, that's kind of dry.
Capacity is an issue, so.
Yeah, we don't want to lose anyone.
No, I didn't realize we were up this high until I looked down. I was seeing if any of the
You're in
guests
the
were coming.
treetops, yeah.
We are.
The tops that are still with us.
This looks like it just got painted.
Visitors coming up.
Thank you all for joining us for our October detour. We hope to see you in November. Stay tuned and follow us.